As a young boy, old folks thought I was cool. I did good in school, so mama let me bend the rules. I grew up with an attitude to do just what I choose. Still at that magnitude, that's just how I do.
Hello, world. My name is Sean Gregoire. This is Patrick Hardy. We got Bradley Smith behind the boards, and welcome to Shooting the Shit. This is a brand new podcast, just based on the shoot the shit, basically. And we just talk about whatever. We just shoot from the hip. We're not trying to be all super analytical. You got plenty of outlets for that. So we're just gonna say what's on our minds and just go there. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is the Joint Dot, episode 7 and 8. And Pat, how'd you feel about it, man?
You know, absolutely. Pat Hardy here, Pete Hardy, straight out of South Carolina. Um, you know, just to kind of introduce myself. Grew up in South Carolina, went to college in Indiana, currently live in Phoenix, Arizona. So I've been all across the map. Heard a lot of people's opinions about a lot of things from sports, music, art, and just to jump right into it, full disclaimer, I am no big Jordan fan. I have practically been hate watching this entire series,
Yes.
hanging on to every great Jordan moment and ready to dissect it, diffuse it. Really, really interested in tearing down these Paul Bunyan stories. So if you ask me how I feel about it, honestly, my honest opinion is this is just propaganda, blowing up the Jordan legacy, creating more Paul Bunyan tales, interviewing select individuals that'll contribute to growing that brand. This is not, to me personally, it's not the truth. They did a good job of creating the documentary. It's a very well produced documentary, but just from a factual side and a realistic side, I think that there's a lot of Paul Bunyan. What's the dude that moved the train up the tracks and he died at the end? Whatever that guy is, they're creating all these stories that I think I'm not quite believing 100%. I think what was it that came from the? Not to cut you off. Sorry about this. Let's just talk about the main thing from episode 8. Horace Grant being told that he can't eat.
Look, dog. Look, that man is 6'10", 260 pounds, and a professional athlete. No one is telling that grown man that he can't eat nothing. I don't care what he says. I don't care what sounds dope in the doc. Ain't nobody telling that man that he can't eat. Like, he was probably sneaking some damn Hardee's, like, in the back of the bus while Jordan yelling about, like, losing in late March or whatever. Like, Horace, you better not be eating back there. He's like, nah, I'm just listening to you. And just, you know what I mean? But no,
it's on some place. And I don't know real Horace. You better not eat or I'm going to fuck your shit up.
Yeah,
he ain't talking to Horace. Get out of here.
But nah, like,
telling them to eat.
But nah, I'm with you on them trying to make Jordan bigger than what he already is, which is insane because you already treat Jordan like the golden child. And what I thought they were gonna do is have something similar to the Jordan rules, where they actually had clips and kind of the real Jordan, but it's the real Jordan as long as he makes him look good. Like, my favorite part of the doc was when he started crying about being super competitive. It was like, if I'm perceived as a nice guy, I don't care because I won and I wanted to win, and this is how it needed to be because I got
title. Cut the camera. That's a wrap.
Break. So yeah, fun stuff. But a really interesting thing I thought actually was how they got into the series with the Magic when he got back from baseball and whatnot. Because one thing I won't take away from Jordan is that he worked really hard. He worked really hard to get back, even though he wasn't ready. He did his best, and like, even if they show games 1 and 6 where he shot the air ball, got ripped by Nick Anderson. He was still at 31-9-4 or something like that. He was he was pretty great. And of course, even that man looked good. It's like, Grover, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't get no off season because I'm Jordan.
Right. And I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this is full disclosure, I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. And the main reason that I dislike Jordan and try to poke holes in all these Jordan stories is because as a child growing up, I was always told whenever someone asked me who my favorite player is, oh, it's Kobe Bryant. Oh, well, Kobe's not as good as Jordan. What you mean he's not as good as Jordan? Yes, he is. And continuously hearing people shoot down my hero, rest in peace, Kobe Bean Bryant, hearing people tear him down to big Jordan up, that just created a hate in my heart. But the thing that I can't deny, whether I want to recognize him as my GOAT or not, that competitive nature, you can't take that away at all. Like, I think that's the one thing that comes through shining across all generations, no matter if you like Jordan or not. The man was a competitor. The man was competing at a level unseen to anyone in the 80s or the 90s. He really brought real ball professionalism to the sport. So if you're not about the business of being great, you have no business being mentioned in the veins of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I guess some people will throw LeBron James in there now. It's just that, I can't take away his competitive nature, but the greatest player of all time, sure, he has the numbers. Sure, he has the accolades. But you can't
Kareem,
convince me that Kareem, the unmentioned GOAT, Kareem, he's always overlooked. Kareem is, I think we were having a discussion outside of the podcast with a group of friends. Kareem's automatic top 3, just off pure domination of the game. Pure domination is Kareem. Personally, I don't like to bring up Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain because if you're dunking on milk delivery men, I don't really qualify that as being, the greatest of all time. They were great in their generation, but, and that's kind of where I'm at with Jordan is how great were the guards that Jordan had to play in his era versus the guards of today. The gap between Michael Jordan and everyone else was so significant. But in today's NBA, I think you can list at least 20 players, 30 players in the league that have Jordan-like qualities that are spread out across the teams, that your Kobe's, your LeBron's, your Paul George's, your Dwayne Wade's, that they have to compete against and play against, that Jordan just didn't have to see in his heyday.
Yeah, I hear you, but we're gonna be saying that about LeBron in 30 years. Like it's just never gonna, people gonna evolve, players gonna evolve, the trading's gonna get better, people gonna jump higher. Shoot, man, I'll be watching these high school games with people going through the legs in the game. When Kobe did that in 97, 98, like we was out of our seat running, like, yo, we never did that before. And like people doing 360 through the legs now, and shoot, I don't know, like in 2060, they're going to be doing backflip dunks. And we're going to be like, man, LeBron played against some damn milkman. What the hell? Like this dude.
And that would be a valid argument. That would be valid because everything else in the world evolves and gets better. And the iPhone that you have in your hand, the Android you have in your hand today is better than the iPhone 2 or whatever the first iteration of Android was. Who are we fooling to sit here and say Jordan was great and his greatness was so great that he would dominate the league today like he dominated? They touch on this competitiveness, but we've seen what the competitiveness of Michael Jordan looks like in today's age. It's Kobe Bryant. So it's hard for me to listen to conversations where people are like, oh, if Jordan was in the league today, he dropped 50. James Harden's clipping threes at an all high rate, and he's not touching 50. He's at 36, 37. It's okay, buddy.
Here, yeah, and while you talking, man, the iPhone 6 go through. Like, shit, like iPhone 6 is the greatest iPhone of all time. better than the 10, even though it's greater. It had the competitive spirit.
I got the 4.
You know what I mean?
FaceTime. The introduction to FaceTime is a game changer. So to me, it's the 4. But
Oh, yeah, I did. All right, word. We used to argue about this for the next 30 minutes. Like it's such a goofy argument that I have to entertain just to, whatever. But the doc is really well done. Like it is a very, very good piece of propaganda. Oh my gosh. Like I'm all wrapped up in the stuff that I already knew, and him treating Scott Burrell like shit. And well, Scott Burrell deserved it because he was a decent human, and decent humans don't win in anything. Like what? Like what are you trying to?
What are we teaching the kids? What are you teaching these kids? Nice guys get kicked, and if you're a nice guy, you deserve to get kicked because that's the only way you're gonna win. I guess.
So don't be nice. Maybe. So the reason that Jordan's competitiveness and him being an awful human to his teammates gets glorified over other leadership styles like Duncan or Bill Russell or Kareem is because they didn't get pushed by Nike, bro. And if Jordan was a nice, kind dude who always uplifted his teammates, he would be a virtue of greatness and good leadership and progressive ideals. But Kareem ain't get pushed by Nike, bro. Like that, it's like I can't be like Kareem. I can only be like Mike. So whatever Mike does is the only way. And Mike is a dickhead, so I can only be a dickhead to succeed.
I agree 100%. I don't really have too much to add. Again, this goes back to the Paul Bunyan storylines that I feel like have been created, and we've had to perpetuate these stories over the last 85 to 35 years. I mean, we have to keep this up, and that's part of the reason I believe the documentary is received so well. Is the demographic that grew up with Mike is in that age of consumption where they're consuming everything. The shoes are still doing extremely well. The marketing is great. The Jordan brand is, I think, the biggest thing that I took from the Jordan brand is that Nike wasn't shit without the Jordan brand. Like Jordan not only helped Nike out by having his presence, the Nike we see today would not exist without Jordan. So that's one thing that I learned, that maybe because I wasn't invested in Jordan like many others were. It's one thing that really was like, oh man, Jordan's really, really responsible for the landscape of shoes as we see it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, the storylines, the Paul Bunyan, I think that's why, you can't be a nice guy and succeed in this league. You got to be a dog. You got to be scrappy. Plus, we love that from all our sports. I think the number one sport in America is football, and people love that because it's barbaric and it's gruesome and it's gritty. And, you get to live vicariously through men who are considered gladiators. And the greatest gladiators got to be the nastiest, most fearless, gruesome, tenacious person you've ever seen. So they've kept that storyline up with Jordan. And
that's also the reason they glorified that ugly ass 90s basketball that we had to pretend looked good all the time.
Was not good.
No, it's not
good. No disrespect to the players. But let's just be honest. I can go to the park and do the Jordan rules on whoever's coming to the basket. I can do that. I don't play basketball. I have 2 bum knees. I can low bridge anybody. I would be the best version of Bill Laimbeer without scoring.
Yeah, it'll be lit, man, playing those times. I mean, shoot, like I'm like 210, 215, 6'1", and shoot, them guards back then was like 185. I had people flying through the air, even if I was scoring.
Holding them up like lawn chairs.
And then they had the hand checking, but yeah, man, I watch these old games just to see what people's talking about, and that should be ugly. Like especially from 94 to basically like 04. Like you watch even like the Lakers Spurs stuff like in 04 whenever they have their battles. It'll be 73 to 72, 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. What? That was a score for real? Like I was invested in this?
Absolutely. Well, I would say in the late 90s, early 2000s, the game was slower because it was going through the bigs, right? Yeah. And then you had this this run of just incredible guards come through. And the guard play went from point guards facilitating, a la your Jason Kidds, your Steve Nashes, to guards actually scoring, and the ball moving from the point guards to your shooting guards, your Kobe's, your Tracy McGrady's, your Penny Hardaways. Yeah, I think that's what started the uptick, and that was great basketball. And David Stern was a mastermind at putting the right product out there. They got away from bigs and started going to Europe and getting these skilled bigs, a la your Dirks, and more of those started infiltrating the NBA. And now you have positionless basketball, and that's a very rough timeline of the way things work, but ultimately lended itself to 130, 120 point shootouts.
Yeah, like it's funny because we've tried the positions basketball for at least 30 years. Ever else is doing stuff. And the thing about NBA is that it's held copycat. So unless somebody wins a title with it, it's not important. That's why Hakeem got picked first over Mike, right? And bullied to that effect because everything ran through big men. Even Bird was 6'8", 6'9". He was more of a point forward, but he wasn't an explosive wing. Everyone thought the small guys had the ceiling. The 7-footers, they're the ones who run everything because they're the biggest guys. And whenever Jordan broke through, it was like, okay, we need Jordan. So that's when the Pennies and the Grant Hills and everything else came through, and now like this point guard is starting to change with Steffi because Steph won a title. That's the only reason, because when Nash was popping, it was like, okay, yeah, Nash, like, you're cute, you're great, but you haven't won a title, you ain't break through, so everything that you did is invalid. And then Steph won a title. So now, trades pop in, and we're going to see a whole bunch of little kids shooting from 30 feet coming to the league, and we'll see how that goes, how that affects the game.
Absolutely.
Bro, your kid is so cute.
He's running around doing his thing. He controls the house. He is the Michael Jordan of this house. I have to hate
he's a tyrant.
He's the Michael Jordan of this house. Absolutely. My oldest is Kobe Bryant. He's got that. He's a killer, but he's media friendly and he'll give you good quotes. The youngest he'll break your spirit. Yeah. And he knows I'm recording. He doesn't care. He wants me to boss up and be a winner. So that's why you see him in the camera. Yeah,
and that's why I locked my Jordan out of the room. I can't have that. There's no way. So, what other series that they talked about struck your interest, man?
Being that I'm in Phoenix, it was the Phoenix Bulls finals was pretty interesting. It's strange to me now that everything that happened and transpired, Michael doesn't like Charles because of something he said after they stopped playing. But I had to really check myself and be like, Charles Barkley was really that guy. I think looking at that portion of the documentary and looking at that Phoenix Bulls series, Charles Barkley was really before his time. I mean, you can confirm. I've heard reports Charles Barkley was 6'4", only 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4" and fat.
The round mound to rebound. So for him to do what he did at that size and what you would think would be a lack of athleticism, he really carried that Suns team. And I know they had KJ and, the city of Phoenix was on fire because that team, the current team will never live up to what that team set forth for them. But I was really surprised at that particular series, how personal they took it to push it to 6 games. But then again, that's where Jordan's competitive comes, because they could have put it away in Chicago. They're like, nah, we're only packing 1 suit because we're coming back to Phoenix and it's only going to be 1 game. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like that talk. I kind of like, that competitive fire. It reminds me of Kobe.
It was very cute. Yes, it was a very cute thing for Jordan to say. A great ploy that, I'm sure it was the only reason they won that game. Paxton, he's in the heat of the battle, and Paxton gets that shot. And he's like, "Damn, bro, I only packed one suit, man. I can't have the media see me in a suit after Game 7, bro." And, and that's why he hit it. No other reason. But yeah,
No other reason.
Yeah, but talking about Chuck, man, that's a bad dude. That's a bad dude. And I really didn't need to see the doc to know that. I keep forgetting that we kind of have a whole new generation to kind of re-up on 85 to now, just because we grew up kind of in the, like, catching up with Jordan's run in the late 90s. Like, they're catching up to the beginning of LeBron's run, the middle of Kobe's run. So I think it was good for that, and I wish they had a more thorough kind of description of how good these other teams are, how good these players were. But then it wouldn't be a Jordan documentary; it'll be a late
NBA documentary.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I think it was good for that. Outside the clear and obvious propaganda that everyone should have known.
Like, why did Jordan have to clown Gary Payton like that?
Because Jordan can't get nobody no shine. Even GP, man. GP is one of the best defensive guards in history. The moment they threw GP on Jordan all of a sudden started having trouble. The numbers bear it out. The tape bears it out. But Jordan, Gary Payton giving me trouble. Never. I'm Michael Jordan. No one ever gives me trouble because I am God.
Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie, Mike. Ball don't lie.
Like we still got the tapes. That's just on YouTube. Gary Payton was hell. And it's one of the reasons I never really forgave George Karl. I think somebody told me that GP was hurt, and that was the reason they didn't really put him on Jordan at the start of the series. But it's the finals. You got the off season. Get some surgery, motherfucker. Like shit.
And GP would have went all for it. He wouldn't have been hell, but he would have been all for it. You put him out there on the court, he's gonna give you that dog, that Bay mentality.
Yeah. That all that good stuff. And another hellish guard from the 90s that they don't talk nearly about in the doc. Like even in 96, they could have done the whole little thing on the Sonics. They were an all-time team. They won 65, 60, like they were really, really good and kind of futuristic, you know what I mean? But again, it wouldn't be a Jordan doc if everything was about Jordan, I suppose. I can't wait for the year 2050 whenever they do LeBron's and they just have Kobe. But nope.
I feel when LeBron's documentary comes, they're going to have to fill it with all of the philanthropic off the court accolades to Pup, unless he gives LA their championship. Even then, he's still not in the pantheon of Jordan as it comes to the competition level. As far as Jordan's got 6, Kobe's got 5, LeBron will have 4 at that point. They're gonna hold up those finals losses for all of perpetuity. LeBron would have to run off 7 straight just to get out of the realm of, he lost 6 and he lost 7. I'm kind of at the point now where I really don't want LeBron to make any more finals unless he's going to win, because another loss is not going to help his case. And I need more people in the conversation against Jordan in order to tear down the legacy that Jordan is building, not only with his game, but with these documentaries and the brand Jordan and the shoes that they keep re-releasing, even though we have 12 pairs already.
We're going to get every color of those ones, bro.
We need someone to step up and combat this.
But yeah, about that, I think that notion is horseshit. So if Jordan made to the finals anytime from 84 to 1991, and he had a BS team or whatever, then I guess it's not as bad. Like the only finals that I hold against LeBron that I think disqualifies him from the GOAT conversation is 2011. Because Dallas. He was favored in that series. Yes, the Dallas one where Dirk was a fireball, but whatever. even Wade was like, "Yo, bro, wait, what's going on, dog? What are we doing? Like, didn't you want this? No, blah 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 blah." That's the one. All the other ones, it's like whatever. So yeah, 2011. That's the one, especially after not 4, not 5, not 6, not 100. And
I'm glad you
then
brought that up. Had they not had that Heatles moniker, had they not had that press conference, would the run in Miami have been deemed unsuccessful for LeBron? If everything from the decision leading up to the introduction of Bosh, Wade, and LeBron together, had that not occurred, will we be looking at the Miami portion of LeBron's career and saying, "Oh yeah, he failed"? Because I kind of feel like people look at Miami as a failure because of the not one, not two, not three, even though he got 2 chips out of it.
no, I don't. I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I don't think it was a failure. Just outside that 2011 one, like they played 2 really competitive finals. Well, like 2012 wasn't that competitive, but 2013. I'm a Spurs fan, and we'll skip that. But 2014 though, boy, the Spurs, woo, they gave it to them. But that was a team effort, and that's not really on LeBron. Again, the only one, and it's disqualifying, but the only one that I hold against him was that 2011 and Dirk just making everything on earth, dog. Oh my God, dog. You need to watch the tape on that. Dirk was making everything, and nothing was open. He had no
I
back
can't remember
2012 Terminus. I
who
can.
did Dallas run through. I can't remember the playoffs leading up to that. I remember the finals. Dallas knocked off Dallas knocked off a lot of great teams
Yeah,
to that final. So they were on a destiny run, a run we've never seen since. No one has entered the playoffs and gone on that run they've because that was supposed to be Kobe and them's three-peat, right?
yes, and they got swept the fuck away, and Bynum knocking JJ Barea 8 feet into the air. Oh, that shit was embarrassing. That was my early Twitter days, man. I had a very good time off of that series, boy.
But
Shit.
yeah, no, Dallas went on a magic carpet ride, and I think in my recent history and recent life of sports, there's really only 2 teams that had that magic carpet ride in the NBA playoffs, and I think the Detroit Pistons that uh, knocked off the Gary Payton, Karl Malone Lakers, and those Dallas Mavericks in 2010, 2011, or was it 2011?
Yeah,
Magic
man.
carpet rides.
It was awesome, man. But yeah, it was great talking to you. Episode 1 be a wrap. We don't know what we'll talk about next week, but we'll figure it out. Sean Gregoire, Pat Hardy, Bradley Smith on the boards, doing everything behind the scenes, making us look great, man. Thank everyone, and we are out of here, man. Shooting the shit. We're
Later.
gone.